When life falls apart and pain seems unending, we often ask, why do good people suffer? Is God still in control? In today's video, we'll explore the story of Job, one of the most profound tales of suffering, faith, and hope in the Bible. Job was a man of great wealth and integrity who lived in the land of Uz. He was known for his devotion to God, avoiding evil, and caring for others. He had a large family, abundant flocks, and everything everyone could dream of. But behind the scenes, something unseen was unfolding. Satan appeared before God, questioning Job's faith.
Does Job fear God for nothing?
Satan asked. He argued that Job only worshipped God because of his blessings. So, with God's permission, but within clear limits, Satan was allowed to test Job's faith by bringing suffering into his life. In one day, Job lost everything. His servants were killed, his livestock stolen, and a great wind destroyed the house where his children were feasting, leaving no survivors. Devastated, Job mourned deeply. Yet he fell to the ground and worshipped God, saying,
"The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord."
Though his heart was broken, Job's worship did not depend on his circumstances. His faith remained. Next, Job's body was afflicted with painful sores from head to toe. His friends came to comfort him. But instead of offering true compassion, they assumed Job had sinned and was being punished.
God does not bring suffering without cause.
Their advice reflected a false belief, one that persists today, that righteousness guarantees a life of ease. This thinking forms the core of the so-called prosperity gospel, the idea that God blesses his followers with health and wealth if they have enough faith. Job's story debunks this misconception. God's blessings are not a formula for a trouble-free life. Faith doesn't exempt us from suffering. Job asked God tough questions.
Why is this happening? What have I done wrong?
But his questioning was different from complaining. Job's desire wasn't to accuse God, but to understand him more deeply. God doesn't fear our questions. He invites us to bring our doubts and pain to him. Yet, God's response to Job wasn't an explanation. It was a revelation of his power and sovereignty. God spoke out of the storm.
"Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand."
God reminded Job and us that his wisdom is far beyond human comprehension. His plans are perfect, and even when we can't see the full picture, the story of Job also reveals crucial truth. God's sovereignty extends even over Satan. Satan could not act without God's permission. Every trial Job faced had limits set by God. This reassures us nothing happens outside of God's knowledge. Even in our darkest moments, God remains in control. In the end, God restored Job's fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. But the takeaway isn't that God always replaces our losses with double blessings in our life. Because of Jesus' death and resurrection, there will come a day when all suffering will end. Revelation 24 promises he will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. Our ultimate hope lies not in earthly compensation, but in the eternal joy we have through Christ. Job's story reminds us that suffering is complex. It's not always a punishment for sin. Sometimes God allows suffering to draw us closer to him. But we can always trust his goodness even when we don't understand his ways. Authentic worship isn't about our circumstances. It's about God's unchanging nature. He is always good, always holy, always sovereign. So, when life hurts, remember Job. Bring your questions to God, trust His wisdom, and hold on to the hope that one day every pain will be redeemed. If you found this video meaningful, give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe for more stories of faith and hope.